All right, welcome back to Beach Theory, where the fun never ends and the belching never stops.
That's right.
That's like the synopsis.
You know,
of
when the Becca
stories.
and Ryan show ever starts, like every time it starts, I'm always like, I think I've trained my body to feel like burping whenever the camera starts, and I want that
terrible.
For this too. Like I just want it.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You are an odd one.
What are you trying to act all high and mighty? You want to do it too.
Whatever, I don't belch whenever the camera turns on.
It's called confidence.
Confidence. I'm glad you're so confident.
Okay, an image came to my mind of me on a t-shirt with, like, you know how the Simpsons have like a belching face where their lips are kind of doing this? Wavy. Like, I could imagine my face with that Photoshop and having it say confidence on it. Like, that's a really inspirational t-shirt.
You inspire me. Just imagining that in my mind right now is inspiring.
I know. Like, confidence.
So inspiring. I think we should talk about our engagement.
Well,
and the adventures.
The adventures leading up to our engagement.
So if you're just joining us, make sure you don't miss out.
Okay, see, that was a really good one. That's what I had right before we started. I belched that good.
Impressive. Very impressive.
It was so frustrating because the camera wasn't on yet.
I cut it on purpose.
We have an amazing engineer, Cody Crabb, with us today, who is helping us make this all possible.
Yeah.
Couldn't do without him. So thank you, Cody, for being here. And yesterday or last week's podcast, we recorded and talked all about dating. And then the week before that was our first encounter, first date.
And
meeting each other. So
last we left off, I had just gone and talked to my mom and said, "Mom, can I go on a road trip with my boyfriend to Oregon?"
Dun,
and
dun, dun.
I was completely expecting her to say, "No, what are you thinking? Are you crazy?" And she was like, "Sure." And I was like, "Mom, that's bad." I really did talk to her like that too. I was like, "Mom, I can't believe you said yes. That's not good." And she's like, "I trust you. You'll be fine. I know you're not going to do anything bad. Just go and meet his family. It's all right. You're an adult. You can do what you want." And I was like, "Mom, I don't want to be an adult yet." Even though I was already in college and an adult. I just wanted her to tell me no. Anyways.
So we went on this adventure. And that's today we're going to talk about more dating and the engagement, I think.
And going to Oregon for me to meet his family for the first time.
I figured it was only fair since I've met her family.
That's right. He knew my family really well.
It was time for her to meet my side of the family and, see what makes me amazing.
Yeah. So on the way there, he's like, "By the way, this is my family. Half of them are Bolivian and the other half are white as white can be."
Wait, you didn't know that at that point?
No. You told me when we were on the road to Oregon.
Seriously?
Yes.
So, okay. So just kind of give some context backstory here. My mom and my biological father got a divorce when I was 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly.
You've always said 5.
5. We'll go with 5. And yeah, it's probably 5.
Yeah.
And my mom soon thereafter remarried to my stepdad, and they had 4 kids. And my stepdad is Bolivian, 100% pure blood Bolivian. But he was born and raised in America, so
5 kids from his dad, and then 4 more from his stepdad.
Right.
So together 9 kids that he was raised with,
right,
as biological.
And that was the family that I wanted her to meet because she'd never met my mom or my dad, stepdad.
He has more siblings, but they're on his dad's side, and his dad he wasn't raised with his dad, so that's how he has 9 kids. 9 kids.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
So we were driving to Oregon to go meet them, and
yes,
it was I think we sang hymns, if I remember correctly.
Really?
I think
I don't remember that.
I remember singing hymns with you for some reason. I don't remember why. Just because it was.
That sounds fun.
It was fun.
I could imagine us doing that.
We
probably did. That's funny that I like that we're doing this because I feel like. It's giving us a reason to get more in detail and really push our brains to remember what happened back then.
But before we go further into this trip to Oregon, there's a couple things that I think we skipped from earlier on in our dating. First of all, by the time we left on this trip, we were officially boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yes.
And what happened to make that, leading up to that?
Okay, we were at your family.
I think you should start with the dream.
Oh, Okay.
Because the dream
Yes.
happened first.
Okay.
Okay.
So after the second date, right? He had fallen on the playground and I just felt so comfortable around him and I wanted to comfort him, but I was like, I can't do that. I don't know him yet. Like I was so torn in my mind because I felt like somehow I knew him from a long time ago and we had a relationship from a long time. Like I felt like I knew him in the pre-existence, but I really had only known him physically for 2 weeks.
Right.
So I felt comfortable around him and I was kind of really shocked by that. I mean, imagine meeting a complete stranger and feeling like, how do I know you? No, I don't know. Like he lived in Florida all growing up and I lived in Utah. So I know for a fact I never ran into him. I never hung out with him. He's 3 years older than me. Like, so I know that it wasn't any of those things that it could have been to explain the feeling like I knew him. Anyways, so I went and I would pray about him all the time. Like, what do I do? Is he the right guy? How am I going to know? Whatever. And all of a sudden, I remembered a dream from when I was 12. You can hear the wind outside.
The wind is howling outside.
Okay, we are actually at Bryan Head
Ski
in
resort.
a ski resort right now.
Up in the mountains. It's
And
blizzard
it's
outside
almost like
right
a
now.
whiteout. Like you can't see past one building outside.
I was skiing all day yesterday. It was fantastic.
And there's wind, and the snow is literally blowing completely horizontal. Like the
It's
snow
been doing
is
that this whole
horizontal.
time. The whole time we've been recording. But I want to hear about this dream.
Yes, sorry, ADD squirrel. Okay, so I had a dream when I was 12 years old that I was in between. So I was standing by the Manti Temple. The Manti Temple is where I wanted to get married, and I had planned that from when I was a little girl, when I had done the Mormon Miracle Pageant. Shout out to that. That was fun. And that was just something that would talk about like the history of our church. But it was like a play.
So in your dream, you were looking at the temple.
I was looking at the temple, and in between me and the temple were two guys, and one of them had brown hair and one of them had blonde hair. And Michael, at the time, I always thought of him as having blonde hair. He doesn't really have super blonde hair.
If you're watching this on YouTube, I kind of have...
It's like, if you look at it
light
compared to
brown.
mine, it's like brown. Like, it is brown. But in my mind, he's a blonde for some
So
reason.
after my mission, I spent 2 months in Oregon working.
So he
in the
was more
wilderness,
blonde back then.
And I had bleached blonde hair because
Yeah.
I was in the sun all day.
Yeah.
It was kind of sun
So when I
bleach.
met him, he was a
little
blonde
lighter
to me.
than normal.
Yeah. So in between me and the temple were two men, and they were both really tall, and one of them had brown hair and one of them had blonde hair. And in that dream, and remember, I had it when I was 12. This is before I met either of the people, Michael or the other guy that I was dating. And in that dream, I knew that I had to pick one of them before I got to go to the temple. Like, that was my decision. I had two guys in front of me, and I had to pick one. Only one, so that I could get to my ultimate goal, which was getting married in the temple. And it's just so crazy because I only remembered that dream after I met Michael. Like, I had forgotten it all those years. I was 19 at the time. I had that dream when I was 12.
So it's funny because she told me about this dream.
So one night we were up late. We had been hanging out all day. And I brought it up. I was like, so I just remembered this dream that I had when I was 12. And what did you say? I told him all about the dream.
She told me the dream, and I said that was interesting. But in my mind, I was like, okay, she's committed. She wants to marry me now. She's coming up with any reason she can to justify ditching her old
And that wasn't
boyfriend.
any reason. It was one little step at a time for me. Like, Michael's like, let's get married. Let's do it right now. Let's blah, 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 blah. And I was like, whoa. Like, I was coming off of a 2-year relationship.
Right.
And that was a big deal for a
But when you told me
19-year-old.
about that dream, it was at that point that I realized that you were actually legitimately considering me as a prospective husband.
And if you
Because
were,
up until that point,
yes.
I knew that you were committed to your
well, okay,
previous
here's the
boyfriend.
thing. If I explain kind of what that dream meant to me, that dream meant, so I would never have considered Michael. I was so confident in the person that I had been
Chosen.
dating and chosen. I had even prayed about him and gotten a good answer, like, yeah, you're probably going to marry him. And so I felt very confident in that. And so literally the only way I would have ever considered Michael was because that dream, I had that before I met either one of them. It was far back enough that to me it was like Heavenly Father's way of saying, you're going to need this right now so that you can look back on this and say that you were given this inspiration before you met either of them, so it's not biased in any way. Like, that dream was not leaning towards one or the other in any way. Like, and I just knew that meant to me that they were equally good. And oh man,
The more you listen to us, the more you'll realize that we give credit to Heavenly Father for a lot of things that happen in our life. And I just think that's important to note. That that's our belief, our personal
well,
belief.
it's gotten us to where we are today, and you can't deny that. Like, that it's because of him. Like, we just have been asking him his opinion this whole time. What do you think we should do now? What should we do now? And we pray and we feel like we get answers, or we're led in a different direction, and then good things happen and bad things happen, but we learn from them.
You told your mom about that dream too.
I did. And she was like, wow, that's interesting. I don't know.
That was all she said, pretty much.
Yeah, it was just, she just thought that was really interesting. But really, I look at that and go, okay, that opened up my eyes to considering him. When before I was like, nope, I've been dating this guy. I know he's good. I have seen his character. I know he's a good person. And I had been with him for 2 years. And so to meet somebody like him and consider him, I was just so loyal to the other guy that I was dating that I was like, no way.
Wouldn't even consider it.
Not even considering it, except for when I had that, I remembered that dream. And then I was like, holy cow, that means he's just as good of a choice. Right. And that I have a choice, and that I should consider him. And so
I'm glad you did.
Yeah. So I ended up.
So about 2 months into,
I told him about that, and he's like, that's a really, I think, he said, I think every guy should get a Dear John.
Well, yeah, that was a separate question.
Yeah.
She said, what do you think about, because a Dear John is when a missionary gets a letter that says, hey, we're not dating anymore, from his ex-girlfriend.
I'm getting married, or
and I had a girlfriend before my mission. She sent me a letter that said, hey, dear, never mind, we're not dating. I'm getting married to somebody
else. A Dear
else.
John.
So that's what they call a Dear John. So I told Rebecca, because she asked me, what do you think about Dear John? And I said...
that was a loaded question. I knew that what the answer was going to be.
I just liked that she was asking me, because that meant that she was open to me as a potential spouse.
And he goes, oh, I think Dear John's build character.
It's
I
great.
I think every missionary should get a Dear John at least once on their mission.
And that's exactly how I said it too.
Yes, exactly like that. Exactly.
It's wonderful.
And I was just like, inside, I was like rolling my eyes, like, I knew you would say that. You just want me to Dear John this guy.
That's true. That is true. I didn't say it like that. Oh well, it doesn't matter now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's
it worked.
Okay.
Whatever I said worked.
Okay, so that was the reason why I was like open to pursuing Michael and to going on that road trip. So we go on the road trip.
So I wanted to be your boyfriend.
Oh yeah.
And we hadn't decided yet.
That's right.
But we had been dating for a long time.
Yes.
And one
we
day
were dating. We wouldn't even hold hands. Like I was not comfortable doing anything because I wasn't decided yet.
Because you were just testing the water. You hadn't decided. You weren't in love with me yet. You were still committed to your old boyfriend.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved you. Like I loved your personality. I loved hanging out with you. I just hadn't decided yet.
So we were. So do you want to tell? You should tell.
We were at his family's house, his dad's family's house.
My stepmom's family's house.
Yeah, stepmom's family's house. It's kind of confusing, but we were there, and he was playing with all the little kids and showing off how good of a daddy he would be one day. Like it was totally that situation where he's like, "Oh, playing with all these kids."
I was just having fun.
Yeah, you knew what you were doing.
Oh, I knew what I was doing, but It just happened to be what I would
Yeah,
have done
it was
anyway.
natural. It wasn't like, oh, I am robotically playing with these kids to show that I am a good
Watch me play with kids.
mate one day.
You squirt.
It wasn't like that. Like, he was really
No,
sweet to
it was
them.
fun. They're cute
But
kids.
I was like, when we went to leave that house, I just like was walking and I just grabbed his hand. And I think we had talked about like when
for boyfriend and girlfriend, and
what do we get to do? Oh,
right.
it was a couple of days. Wait, okay, a couple of days before that, we had talked to each other, and we were saying, okay, we should become boyfriend and girlfriend, especially if we're going on this trip to Oregon. Everybody's gonna ask us questions like,
Right.
"Why are you here with this random girl?" If we're not even boyfriend and girlfriend, and so we were like,
Right.
okay, let's be boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay. I'm alright
And
with
then
that.
it was still like 2 days or more,
I think you're right.
and then I finally held his hand, and he like
Finally.
smiled at me, and he's like, ah. He didn't
I
want to
did
be
not
the one.
scream.
You were like, ow!
Whatever.
Ow, I love this! I'm so glad you're holding my hand finally. That's how you said it too. It was just like that.
Yes, I've grown up quite a bit since then. I used to have a high-pitched, squeaky voice.
That's the feeling of it anyhow.
That's why she fell in love with me. No, when she grabbed my hand, she was screaming in her mind. That's
In
why.
my mind,
that's
I
what
was
she
like,
remembered.
he's so cute. He's going to make a good dad one day. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And what
remember
did you think?
I just remember you grabbing my hand and then like holding my hand and rubbing my fingers with your fingers and just like caressing my hand. And I just remember thinking, man, she really likes me. That was good.
Good. You had a good move there, playing with those kids.
And then after that, we held hands a lot.
Yeah, we held hands a lot. But we did not kiss for months.
That's right.
So
So we drove to Oregon.
to us, it was very slow. Like,
No, wait.
because...
Did I ask you to marry me before we left to Oregon?
No.
It was after we got back from Oregon.
Oh, actually, yes, you did.
That's what I thought.
You did.
Before we ever went to Oregon, I asked you to marry me.
So he's like, hey, want to go on an adventure with me? I want to go to Oregon. And I'm like, okay, my mom said yes, so okay. So we're getting ready to go. And then he's like, do you want to go on an adventure? Was that when you said that? Or were you just hinting towards getting married?
I think we were driving to Ephraim one day.
Yep.
It was nighttime.
Yep.
And this was before we went to Oregon, but soon before, like we were getting
Yeah,
close.
we were really close to going
And
to
this
Oregon.
was after we were boyfriend and girlfriend for maybe a couple weeks or so.
Yeah, not long though.
But long enough that I think we were both kind of like feeling really good about the relationship.
Yeah.
And I just remember, I think we were talking about marriage.
We were not like,
'cause we talked-
oh, let's not talk about that taboo subject. We were like, if I got married, this is how I'd want it to be. Like, we were talking about that all the time and being very open and
we did talk
communicating.
openly about the idea of marriage.
Yeah.
Never necessarily from from the perspective of you and I getting married.
No, it was always a hypothetically speaking.
When I get married,
As we're like on a date holding hands.
but I think it was good because it gave us a chance to, without any pressure, talk about some of our, wants with marriage or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think we had been talking about marriage
Yeah.
and how exciting it would be and whatever. We want to have kids right away.
Yeah.
You did and I did too. And then I think with that in mind, fresh, I looked at you and smiled and said, do you want to go on an adventure?
And I was like, well, that's how he asked me to go to Oregon. And I ended up saying yes. But we were just talking about marriage. And then he said, do you want to go on an adventure? And I was like, are you asking me to marry you?
And I don't remember what I said.
You were like,
I think so.
I think so.
It was like literally the worst proposal.
He needs to make it up to me. 10
ever.
years? I think it's about time you repropose.
Honestly, like, if you could imagine the worst, like, dumbest, non-romantic, like, it wasn't, I didn't get on a knee. I
He didn't have a ring. He didn't have anything.
I was still unemployed, not going to school.
No money.
I think.
You were given
did
a
I
car.
own a car? I think
You
I
were
paid
given a car.
$600 for that car.
Yeah.
I got a deal. But I didn't really have anything to offer but my heart.
Which was good enough for me. No,
But
like he just.
Not yet. She didn't say
Well, he
yes.
said, do you want to go on an adventure? And I was like, are you asking me to marry you? And then you were like, I think so. or something like
if you
that.
want to. Yeah.
And then I was like, wow. Huh. And he's like, well, and I was like, I'm going to have to pray about it.
Yeah.
I said, I'm sorry. I can't say yes right now.
That was
I
not
have to
romantic
pray
enough
about
to
it.
get a yes.
This is what you get.
So-
Should have planned it better.
So it was
We did a
basically
real
we just
proposal.
talked about it. Let's get married.
We just talked about it, and I was like, well, I can't tell you yes because I literally don't know, and this is the most important decision of my life, and
you're
I'm
like-
going to pray
and you're
like
I
crazy.
need time, and I need to think about it, and I'll get
So
back to
I go
you.
home, and I'm like, Mom, guess what? I think he just asked me to. Actually, did I do that yet?
Probably.
I think I called my
Yeah.
mast and I said,
I think you
Mom,
told her.
he
told-
just asked me to
At this
marry
time
him,
in
but
her
I have
life,
to
she
pray
told her
about
mom
it.
everything.
Yeah, I told her everything. But I remember going home and I said a prayer, and the answer I got was, you need to give it time. It wasn't a yes and it wasn't a no. And that made me so frustrated because I felt like I was in limbo and I was still writing letters to this guy who
Wait,
I
you
had
hadn't
not
drowned
dumped.
him yet?
No, I didn't dump him until we were engaged
Wow.
because I didn't know if
Wow.
the boyfriend and girlfriend thing was going to work out or
Right.
what. And so like I did feel very bad for a little while because I was still writing him letters, but then I was also going on a few dates with you and it was getting a little bit more serious.
Right.
That was stressful.
But it didn't hurt the relationship. Like it never made things awkward. We were still dating a lot and having fun and loving each other.
Yeah, and I had started to slow down writing letters because I didn't want to be professing my love for somebody
Right.
while I was going on dates with somebody and being
Right.
serious. So I was starting to slow down on the letters to the other guy and starting to feel conflicted,
But your attitude was
but
like,
in a good
"We'll see."
way. Like
Right.
I honestly, the most important factor for me was I just really, really, really wanted to do what I felt like God wanted me to do.
Right.
And that was good in that I know I'm not going to be led in the wrong direction, but it was bad in that I might have been leading the guy who I was dating in the wrong direction without knowing like what my final decision would be. You know what I mean?
So we both agreed that going to Oregon and meeting my family would help her get the answer.
But we
she'll
were
have
not
more
telling
information.
anybody that he had asked me
Yeah.
because I was like, I'm not going to tell anybody if I don't even know if I'm going to say yes. Like,
Right.
no way.
Right.
So I hadn't told anybody.
And we went to Oregon.
So we were boyfriend and girlfriend, like officially. It was just boyfriend and girlfriend. By the way, we have a lot of pictures from this trip, by the way.
Oh, we'll just. I think what we should just plan on from now on
Is if we have pictures of whatever we're talking
we're
about,
gonna put
we
it
should
in the YouTube video. Period. It'll just be in the
So
video.
make sure to watch the video if you want to
if you want to see pictures.
the pictures of us at that time.
And those will be supplementary. It'll just be kind of for fun, but it's
Yeah.
not necessary for the story.
Yeah.
So tell everybody your first impression meeting my family.
Okay, so you're first off, you warned me about some of your family members. You were like,
I remember that.
"Hey, my sister's really protective of me, and she's hated all of my girlfriends up until this point. So, good
I
luck."
remember saying that.
You said that. You said that, and I was like, "Okay." And you also said my aunt.
Watch out for my aunt.
My aunt, she also has hated all my girlfriends
She's
up until this
protective.
point, which honestly makes a lot of sense now that I know a lot more about your girlfriends. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but I just, like I could understand it. Anyways,
Who did you meet first?
I think it was
Did you go to my grandparents' house first?
Yes, we went to your grandparents' house first and we met Jessica and Juliana and Ryan and your mom and dad and Marshall and Johnny. I think all of them were there.
We filmed a video on that trip.
Oh my goodness.
I forgot about that.
That
We
is
filmed the
my
Thanksgiving
I think
video.
my most embarrassing moment of most embarrassing video of all time.
We filmed a lot of videos on that trip.
No, really. Like I am more embarrassed about that video the first
It was
time.
a skit, too.
It was a skit, but they made me act like I was such a brat. And I was like, I don't want to act like that. I want to make a good impression on his family. And I don't want to, it just was so
Really, it
uncomfortable.
was your audition. I had to see if you would be a good actress.
Oh my goodness.
For all the videos that we do.
You didn't
making in
even
our
know
life.
what was going to happen.
Is it on YouTube?
Is it on YouTube?
I think it might be.
It might be buried somewhere on
If
some
you can
obscure.
find it, You'll be my best friend forever.
You know what we should do?
Me and Cody have a friendly rivalry. We like to point out how embarrassing different things are that we each have done. like my pregnancy announcement video with
my
Charlie.
gosh.
He loves that video because of how embarrassing
How
it
awkward
is
it is.
and how terrible. But like at the time, I just wanted to do it. Like I was so excited to do that video.
All right.
Anyways,
So if-
off subject.
If we can find that skit, which I'm pretty sure I can, we're going to put it in at the end of the YouTube video.
Okay.
So you can watch
Oh
it.
my goodness.
So if you're not already following us on the YouTube Beach Theory channel, go subscribe because
This is
there will be
stressing
fun
me out.
extra content.
No, it's not really stressing me out. It's just funny. It's our history, right? But
And we
it was
actually-
very embarrassing for me at the time. So as long as you know that, then it will be more interesting to watch.
I think on our Treasure Family channel, which was our old family channel before we even had the beach house
Yes.
for pins and things, I think I posted some of our
Skit
videos
videos.
from those videos of us like going to the beach, going to the lighthouse
Yes.
are on that channel.
Yes.
And even some videos that we filmed in Utah with your family.
I had never been to the ocean. That trip, Michael brought me to the
She
ocean.
dropped her phone in the
And
ocean.
my iPad thing,
and it
iPod
ruined.
in the ocean. Both of them were completely destroyed. And I felt very sad.
It was a Razor. Wasn't it a pink Razor phone?
No, that was the one I got after that. It
Oh,
was one
I
that
thought
was
that's the one you dropped in
it
the
was like my
ocean.
very first phone that I ever had.
Okay.
The pink Razor I got after my mom gave it to me and she
Okay.
upgraded. But I did like that pink Razor phone. That was a cute phone.
So you met my family. My sister Juliana, I
I think
baptized her during that
Jessica.
trip too.
Oh yeah, you did. Jessica was a little bit skeptical of me, and I remember thinking, "Oh, I need
Jessica
to."
would have been 12,
So she was just a tween, not too old, but
almost 12.
yeah. But she's a very strong personality, and so I was kind of concerned about just making his family like me because he had tons of time to have my family like him, and I was like, I think it was like 7 days was our whole trip.
Yeah,
It was a very short trip for getting to know his family.
right.
And so I tried really hard just to be myself because I was like, well, I don't want to change and make everybody think I'm one way when I'm not that way. So I was just myself, but it worked. They liked me.
Of course they liked you. I remember my mom being like, "Wow, she is beautiful."
I just realized something.
What?
That wasn't the first place that we went. We
Was
went
it
to
Melanie's house?
Melanie's house.
Missy
or Missy's house.
One of them.
I think it was Missy's
We
house.
stayed the night there.
And your sisters were so giddy. And they
They
were
also
jumping
really
on
liked you.
a air mattress because they were so giddy. They liked me a lot and they were saying all these nice things about me and comparing me to his old girlfriends in front of my face. But it was all nice things, so it was good. And then
Of
they jumped on
course,
an air
it's all
mattress
nice
and popped
things.
it. I remember they were so excited that I was there and that I could possibly be Michael's future wife, and it was just so exciting.
They made a good connection. I think everybody in the family just fell in love with you during that trip
Oh,
because you're so lovable.
my first impression with his aunt. So she was the other one that he's like, I'm warning you.
The one.
She might not like you, or she
She might
just
pretend to not like you, but just be yourself.
just
kinda
don't
thing.
worry. I'm just giving you kind of a heads up. It was a nice thing that he was kind of warning me or letting me
Just trying
know.
to protect you.
Yeah. And so we go to her house and I just remember trying to make a good impression. I wasn't trying too hard, but I was just trying to make a good impression. And then
Did you guys go run an errand or
we
something?
ran an errand. And
she wanted you to come with her?
And she said, yeah, she wanted just me to come with her. So I was like, okay. So I'm saying this was our official interview. My interview. So that she could officially be okay with me, I think.
Right.
And she goes, so if Michael asked you to marry him, what would you say? And on the inside, I was like, he already asked me to marry him. And I was like, well, trying not to show any signs of revealing any secrets because I did not want anybody to know that he had already asked me. But I was like, well, if he were to ask me to marry him, I would say, sorry, I have to pray about it. And she was like, that's the right answer. And I was like, oh, okay.
You
But
passed the
little
test.
did she know, he had already asked me, and that was exactly what I told him. So
was good.
anyways.
Yeah, I'm glad you gave that right answer. So are we to the end of the day or end of the trip now? Does that pretty much wrap up the Oregon trip?
We went on a few walks. We went to the ocean I went to the ocean for the first time.
That was romantic.
It was romantic. We went and sat on a bench after I dropped my phone and iPod into the ocean, and he just sat and stared at me and smiled.
She was so beautiful.
And that was an awkward moment for me. I was like, I don't know what to do. No guy's ever sat and stared at me like this before, just staring at me. And I was just kind of like, and we could hear the ocean, and it was quiet, and we were the only ones there. And he just kept staring at me.
She was so beautiful.
I bet that was the moment you probably wanted to kiss me, huh?
I wanted to kiss you from the moment I met you.
Oh,
But-
man.
Yeah, that was good. Good times. Exciting memory.
So that was our trip to Oregon. When we got back, I still had not gotten an
It was
answer.
very soon after we got back that you agreed to marry me.
Really?
Mhm.
But it was still
Because-
like we were can't talk. We went on that whole trip, and the whole time, it was always a like end of the day when it was just me and him. He's like, "Well," and I was like, "I still don't have an answer. Sorry."
Were we engaged before the new year?
Yes, because our
Okay.
engagement pictures were taken in December.
Right. And so if this was Thanksgiving, within the next month, you had agreed to
Yes,
marry me
but I do think it was closer to a month of.
after getting back.
I mean, he had asked me, and I waited a full month
Yeah.
to tell him yes. And one day, that's what happened. We had gotten back from the trip, and I just kept praying and praying and praying and praying. And an answer I got every single day was, "Just give it time. Just give it time," over and over again. So I would tell him, "Hey, the answer I keep getting is just give it time," and he's like,
Okay.
"Ah,
Keep
okay."
waiting, I guess.
So he just kept waiting, and
I knew it was inevitable. Honestly, I knew the answer was yes. I just knew that she didn't quite know it
You're
yet.
so cocky.
I'm not even joking. From
It's
the beginning,
true.
I would
He's
tell
always
you,
been very cocky from the beginning.
confident, dear. It's different. I knew that she was going to say yes. When she said give it time, I knew that meant I'll tell you yes later.
When I'm ready. And I was not ready. I had just come off of a 2-year relationship, and it was scary. He asked me to marry him, like a month after I met you?
2
Maybe like a month and a half?
month and a half, yeah.
A
Probably
month
6
and a
weeks or
half.
so.
He asked me to marry him. And I waited a whole nother month before I told him yes.
And then, as soon as you said yes, I remember we were standing on the front porch when you finally...
on my parents' front porch.
Yeah, we were on your parents' front porch when you finally said, I feel good about it. So yes,
we're
let's
engaged
get married.
officially.
And I was just like, Yee!
And
I was
he
like,
said, "Now that we're engaged,
what
does that mean we can kiss?"
do you think we could kiss? And then you're like, yes. You had this big old grin on your face. And that was our first kiss, right?
Well,
there
then
on the
I
front
think we
porch.
actually went in the front room of my parents' house.
No, we kissed
And-
on the front porch.
Well, either way, we used a step because he's so much taller than me. I stepped on the step of like the stairway
Using
or
a
whatever
step became common.
because he's so much taller. So then we kissed, and it was my first kiss ever, besides this other boy when I was 7 years old, and that doesn't count because I was 7.
Yeah. But
My first kiss, like as a
sparks
teenager or
flew.
anything, it was great.
Magical. It was good.
It was a lot more wet than I remember thinking it would be.
Because she was
No, it was
using her
great.
tongue.
No, I wasn't. Whatever. No. Wow. Michael.
It was good though. It,
was
felt
good. It was
right.
good kiss.
It was fun kissing you, and
Yeah.
that was the first of many, many kisses that happened during our engagement. And
Yes.
I think that it's time to end this video, and
Yep.
this podcast is now over. But next week, tune in for
The
kissing.
engagement
and more
Which-
kissing.
equals kissing. That's basically all it was.
And wedding planning, and then
Wedding
kissing
planning.
some more. I finally got a job.
Are we going to talk about our honeymoon?
not.
Insert cricket sound.
We'll talk about the G-rated perspective.
Yes, I think that's a good
Well,
idea.
we want to keep this
Obviously,
family
we're not
friendly.
going to talk about.
Maybe PG. You know.
Yeah, PG.
Kissing. Does kissing make it PG?
I don't know.
I think kissing makes it PG.
Depends on how passionate the kissing gets. I guess.
Maybe PG-13. Just kidding.
Definitely not PG-13. But stay tuned next week, you guys. Make sure to follow us
Yes.
on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor,
Anywhere a podcast is found,
as
we
well
are.
as YouTube. You can find us.
Beach Theory.
Theory is our channel podcast thing. And we're having a blast. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Make sure to leave us
Yes.
some messages or comments.
Or questions, things you want us to talk about in
if
the
there's
future.
anything that we talked about here that you want us to elaborate on.
Oh yeah, that's a really good question.
In a future
Because
video.
sometimes you guys might be exactly where we were in that, like you might be in that stage of life,
We've
and
been
if you want
around.
us
We've
to talk
learned a
about
thing or a
more
two.
about how hard being engaged was, like
That's what we
engagement
talk
was
about next week.
difficult. It was not fun.
That's right.
I mean, it was fun, and it was not fun.
So stay tuned to hear all the juicy details.
Oh wow, okay.
With that, Beach Theory signing off.
All right.
We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.